Hey everybody, it's OG and you're tuning in to the Xtacy Experience at home. And we got a very special guest with us tonight doing an interview. Skinz, what's up, brother?
What's going on, my G? How you doing, man?
Good.
What's happening?
All right, so we've been talking a little bit back and forth. You've been wanting to do this for a while now.
Yeah, because I know, I love supporting this thing. We got the setup in the back. We got that tape track. I love that old school shit, bro. It's
Appreciate
cool,
you. So you have a lot of things in the works.
Yeah, so many projects, and that's why I was excited when you invited me over here. It was an exciting experience for me.
Right.
It was very cool, and of course, I love the support. We did all kinds of big things. We had the show over the summer that was honestly really huge for the community. It was really cool. We all owe you something big for that one because that was such a big one.
I just appreciate the support.
You don't get enough appreciation. That's what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's cool. I love to see that kind of thing happen. So when I got this opportunity, I was very excited to do this as well.
All right, and you had something that you're dropping tonight.
Yeah,
right?
so tonight we got a little something.
Now this is something special.
Yeah, we got something special.
Okay,
so tonight I made the announcement of the single drop, and this is the second single from Vicious Cycles coming out in a week, guys. Check that shit out. If you got this shit later than like Friday, then it's not gonna be a week, but you can figure out the math. I believe in you. But
this is dropping
tonight. This drops tonight.
Okay.
Tonight at midnight. It is gonna be entitled 1000 minus 7 to my anime fans. They know there's some Kaneki versus Jason shit. That's what that is. You'll see that with the cover art. It was done by someone who's made several artistries for cover artworks with Trippie Redd. So that's a very cool connection to make and meet. It was really cool. It was very exciting. That drops tonight at midnight. And then I also have a surprise coming out Monday. I figured I'd announce it here first. But Monday, there is the third surprise that will be coming with the album that we'll be releasing obviously that Friday of. And yeah, of course, so many things.
So you've been to work.
I've been going to work, man. It's because me and my boys back home, we got this saying, is when we started first recording this one, I first started working on this project, Vicious Cycles, a few months after my initial debut of Just Dreamin'. Right. And I sat around for a while. I was just thinking about where do I go next? What do I do next? And then I came to terms with whatever I'm feeling at the moment, whatever is real to me now is what I'm gonna write. Wherever it develops and what it becomes is where we're gonna go with it.
Okay.
So back in January, I actually was helping King Kanye go.
Shout out King
Kanye, yo. So we have a studio that we work out of over in the Oneonta area. And we run the studio, we own it. It's actually really cool, very excited. We'll have to bring you guys by. But so we ran that and we're in there every day. And I was in there one night. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was sipping. I got a formula where if you chug 2 Johnny Bootleggers and then sip a 40, you'll feel good. I don't know what your ailment is, but you'll feel good. So that was kind of my thing. Is I was sipping on a 40. I was like, that's good. I'm sitting in the studio and he's recording. I was like, man, he's recording. I don't remember the last time I recorded was. Fuck. The very next day, I was listening to I was going through type beats just to freestyle on YouTube, and then I had a producer send something to me, which it just hit me in my heartstrings. It really pulled on something emotional, something sentimental in me, and that's actually the first song I recorded for the album. I recorded it the very next day. I wrote it all that day right there. So within 3 days, I decided on what I'm doing, my direction, and where I'm going next. And we recorded that very day. And Kanye, he said this statement, that's why I started this whole explanation, is he said, oh man, I didn't know it was album season already. Bro, once we're in album mode, it's different. It's just steady writing, grinding. What is the next thing? What is the album missing? What should I add here? What's missing from this list? Am I hitting this audience? Should I target it? It's a whole different mode when you're in album mode. Now officially, I could gratefully say for the past month or two, I've been out of album mode and working on what we call the marketing stage, marketing mode.
Right. We were talking about that earlier.
We were talking about that backstage. And, that's its own little beast, but it's also a relief because when you're in album mode for so long, it's like, man, how do I top this last one?
Need a little break.
Yeah, you top the next one.
Right.
And the thing that's crazy is this album hasn't released. We're obviously discussing this release. I've already got plans. I'm already working on next projects, so I didn't give myself any time to wait between these ones this time. I don't know when the next one's gonna come, obviously.
So where do you find all this motivation to have multiple projects running and where does it all come from?
What I was thinking when it comes to that topic is originally back in January of this year, of 2021, I was wondering where do I go from here? And I was in a really bad stage in my life. I was going through some things.
Right.
I lost some very close family members that I was close with, and they passed, of course.
Sorry for your loss.
It happens, but I appreciate it. I also lost some really close friends of mine. And for me, that kind of hits harder. And I know that sounds crazy. Everybody that just heard that is like, what does that mean? A friend of mine actually told me this one time, because I used to tell him I take a really hard hit when it comes to like relationships, friendships. Right. Anytime I lose people in life. And the big thing for that is my friend broke it down, because I said, I shouldn't be that serious. I shouldn't be that mad about it. It shouldn't upset me so much. But he said, the reason why it upsets you so much, I think, is because they're actively choosing to no longer be in your life, as opposed to an outside external conflict, such as a death, somebody moving, something. That's finite. That happens. That's final. It is decided. You can't fight that. Right. But when something like that happens, you're left thinking, well, what happens next? So that was all kind of hitting me. And that's when I started writing the first song on the album. I'll announce that here. For anybody that's interested, you can take that as a fact with you. The first song, A Vicious Cycle, ever written was called Just Need to Know. That was the first thing I ever wrote. It's actually my favorite song I've ever recorded in my life. And it is, man, it's not a hype song. It's nothing. It's just, it was what I felt that January day in the moment. And it was really cool because, like I said, I got inspired the day before. The whole next day, I was supposed to be in lab. I'm doing some genetic engineering and stuff. I do my science work and shit, of course. And when I'm in the middle of the lab, I'm waiting on PCR testing, which is this really long science thing. Right. But it takes a hot minute. So you're sitting there for like an hour and a half. And while I'm sitting there, I was looking at these beats, looking at these things my producer friends have sent me. The one that I used is actually from Miami, from a producer I know down there. He sent it to me. He's like, hey, I like this. It's not really poppy. It's not really a banger, but I think you could do something with it. I was like, damn, he's spitting right now, because I'm gonna. And then it was really, I don't know, that's how it started. So, yeah.
Now in this album, that's the album that we're talking about now,
yeah,
right?
Vicious Cycles.
Okay, so you said to me, backstage that we was talking about it and all that, that is a few different tracks with different emotions that you're trying to draw out of people.
Absolutely. I'm really happy you brought that up. Part of the thing I wanted to do with this album, and why, like I said, how it came to be was me in the state that I was in. And it was me trying to find where to go next. Right. Where do I go from here almost? In all stages of my life, I just had the album drop. I got out of a serious relationship situation. And besides that, I lost some good friends. It was just, it was a consistent time of my life where I was like, so what now? So I wanted to try to embody that with this one. This is a more personal album. This is a more serious one. This is one that I want to speak to the audience. This isn't one that there are some songs you're going to bump with the boys in the car, of course, because that's part of being an artist. Right. But a lot of this is really something to give you thought-provoking. And a big part of this is I kept thinking how alone it was in the world with this kind of experience and these thoughts. Right. I wanted to give somebody something they can attach to that they don't feel so alone. So when I'm talking about...
So kind of in a way you want people to see a little bit of who you are behind this album.
Because, everybody knows me at this point. Right. The fans, my friends, family, ever watching this, I got the biggest cocky persona on the planet. But if you ever actually talk to me,
that's true.
I like to think it's a little bit different. But I do it because it's funny. It's actually just funny. It's like Devil May Cry. If you ever seen Dante, that's my favorite character ever. He shows up and fights like demons and shit, talking shit the whole time. And at a young age, I realized I just always thought that shit was funny, so I picked up the bit. But I did realize that sometimes people want more. So with this album, I tried to do that. When you talked about how I'm going to bring you through different emotions, what I want to do with this album specifically is I think a lot of people, especially in our area, Sullivan County, especially people caught in things like toxic relationships, drug abuse, things of that nature, you'll find yourself in what people refer to as the vicious cycle. J. Cole put it in a bar. One time he was like, the abused become the abuser, and that's just how life goes. I always liked that. It kind of stuck out to me, and that's really what it is somebody goes through something horrible, and while they're trying to manage or cope with that, they put it onto other people. And that's kind of the concept of what the vicious cycle is it's a perpetual cycle that everybody keeps getting hurt, adding new people into it, and it never ends. So somebody's got to kind of break the cycle. And what I wanted to talk about with this is the emotions you feel going through this kind of thing. People that struggle with mental health.
So you think that this album... you're saying that you want to try to break that cycle. I mean, that's a vicious cycle to break.
To do it itself
is very difficult, because everybody relates to things differently.
What you said before with the how it's going to transition between emotions, that's the point of it. Is I want you, if you listen to the album in order. All right, you heard me? That's what you need to do. That's what artists want you to do. So do it. I appreciate you. Thanks. But all jokes aside, please do. So when you listen in order, what you should feel is an experience of you come in, There's a comforting emotion. It's a very chill vibe. It's going to escalate to the top. It's going to drop you down to what I could try to bring you to your lowest of lows. I'm going to try to hit you where it hurts. I'm going to try to bring you to a state of vulnerability. And then I'm going to try to bring you back up. And then I'm going to try to bring you back down. And it's going to be a constant bouncing back and forth, which will show and synthesize a synthetic form of the vicious cycle. So it's going to be, for people that haven't experienced it, it's a way you could try to experience it. And if I've done it well, which I like to think I have.
Well, I mean, if you're pouring yourself into it emotionally,
and there's a lot
then they are going to grasp some of that through the music. Right, they're going to attach to it.
So that's what it is with the balance of the emotions, is I wanted it to actually feel like you're in the cycle.
Right.
And then by the
end,
you're
experiencing it yourself.
By the end of it, I just said that term before, is to break the cycle.
Right.
That's something I had to find within myself. And I talk about that somewhere within the album, of course. But I was in a cycle. I was in several cycles. I was like in a fucking wash machine, bro. I was spinning. I don't know, bro. Not in the good ways either. Not like I was like 6 different types of liquor and beer deep, spinning around the room. That's what I was spinning. I was not doing good in these cycles. Right. But I've actually found a place of, I found where I need to be at this point in my life and where I need to progress and how to get forward. And a part of that is I realized, now it's gonna sound like some typical cocky anime shit that I'm always on, but sometimes people just need a pillar. Sometimes people need a pillar of strength, or someone that's resilient, a stoic, somebody that can do this kind of thing.
A support system.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I wanted to try to do with this is to make you feel and understand that I understand. And then once you accept that I understand, by the end of it, I hope you understand that I'm showing you a path out.
Right.
And it's not gonna work for everybody, but I do hope, by showing my personal examples and showing my experience.
Your personal experience and expressing it, right.
People could find their own experience.
Right.
I talk about it a little bit in the titular of the album, but one of the things I say specifically in that song is finding our way out of this is up to you as an individual.
Right.
When you're in a bad place, there's people that can help you, but nobody's gonna pull you out of there but you.
No, you have to make the decision.
Yeah, and that's something I learned. I wanted to share that.
Right.
And like I said from the start, January, this album was about real. What is real? What is...
So let me ask you, so you think that in the process of making this album, did it in itself kind of help you through what you was going through in a way? I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. For me, that's how I work as an artist, is my music is a form of expression. It's a form of, and I've talked to this with a few people now. I'm not sure if this is like an unhealthy thing or something for me, but I have like a permanence thing. I don't like when things are temporary. I've lost a lot of people. It really bugs me. We talked about that before. With this album, I feel like if I left certain emotions, I was abandoning people. And that was really hard for me to accept, especially with friends, things of that nature. So I tried to take songs in the album that personified and captured that emotion. Right. And I wanted to embody it into something that's a timestamp forever. Somebody said something beautiful I really like. I don't know who said it, but it's probably some fucking stupid Pinterest quote at this point, but I love it. Is we use pictures to decorate like beauty. You capture beauty in an instant, you show it to other people. We use music to decorate timestamps, times of our lives. Whenever you hear a song, it takes you back. Whenever you hear something, it brings you back to that first moment.
Yeah, very similar with pictures, right?
Yeah, very similar.
Absolutely.
But it's in a different way that makes you feel, I think. So what I wanted to do is embody these emotions for anybody that's stuck in it. For myself, my memories, I put them in this song. They live on forever, and I'm not abandoning anybody. And for what it's worth, I got to progress and move forward and do better with my life. But at the same time, I still have care for, everything that I've had in my past.
Right.
I don't really have people that I look down on. I don't have anybody I feel like, well, that's a different story, but hate's a whole different thing for me. I don't have anybody I harbor resentment towards specifically, though. I want to see everybody do well. I just don't want everybody eating at my table.
Right. I feel that. Sometimes it has to be that way. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it does. But I do wish them all the best. Right. To all the people that don't fuck with me, I think I said this in a different quote before, but I really do truly mean it. To everybody that loves me, I love you. I appreciate you, and I hope you live a long and happy life. To everybody that hates me, I hope you do well too. I hope you live a really long and happy life so you can live to see me do better than you. Bitch. Go on.
And then goes Skinz cockiness. Oh, shit,
I just want to be iconic for being a douchebag. I think I could do that.
You know what is funny though? It doesn't really make you look like a douchebag.
No, it totally does. I tell
to
people,
a degree.
Bro, I tell people all the time, one of my biggest problems I have when I was making friends growing up is I walk into a room, the first thing someone's gonna say, God, this guy's a dick. And I'm like, well, I can't fight that. That's just reality. That's what it is. But
so you say that that's a persona. So now I come to understand a little bit more. So when the album, you're showing a little bit more of the real.
it's showing more depth. Yeah.
More of the
because
real Skins behind the scenes.
So even with everybody, everybody has some sort of persona. Maybe you have a work life. Maybe you have a friendship life, a home life.
It's that role you have to play.
For me, what I realized is when I'm social, that's just where I'm going to be. And that's just because of maybe it's my looks, maybe it's just how I act, the way I project my voice, my stature. I don't know what it is, but something about my external appearance, my persona, maybe my energy, I come off as a piece of shit, and I recognize that. So I try to show people a depth that, hey man, maybe I'm a piece of shit, but maybe I'm not as bad as you think I am. Because I do really want to see people do well. Things like that. So with this album, I tried to relate more. I tried to really get in touch and try to help people, because as much as that is my persona, at the end of the day, all I ever really wanted with my life was to help people. Okay. I always thought when it came to music helped me get through so much, and I know it's a big thing for people. I grew up in like punk rock shows and shit. And it's not uncommon for somebody to bring a sign to show their artist, like a big billboard. It's like, your music saved my life or something.
Right, yeah, you see it.
So you see that all the time. And for me, I remember seeing that. I was like, that's got to be an incredible feeling to help so many people, especially when you feel lost yourself.
Right.
So I was like, maybe I could be a piece of shit, but I'm gonna be a good guy somewhere along the way.
I think you saying it that way, I may be a piece of shit, but I think that that's not really the case. I just think that it's maybe the energy you give off, very cocky, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Challenge anybody, anywhere,
Absolutely.
But that's what makes you who you are in reality,
That's what I'm saying, but it is
so
a part of me.
it's
a part of me. I'm always with the smoke. Like, if somebody wants it, they can get is there a switch here? Can I get a check backstage? Is there a switch? Does this say these are on? Oh, word, these are on. That's what I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, these hands work, you know what I'm saying? We could do something. And if somebody wants to, it don't always
like I tell you before all the time, like, you're one of the artists that we've worked with that is, like, really, really dedicated to their craft and to what they do. You know what I mean? And you make that effort, you give that effort, and you're willing to support other artists around you.
That's probably the biggest thing that I don't, I guess, exude or exemplify, but I try to make it clear whenever I talk to somebody. If anybody needs help in any way, I want to see you win. I really do want to see everybody win, because I think we could. I think we could all get to where we want to be in life. And there's so many things that people tell you can't do. There's so many times people are like, oh, you shouldn't do this, or I don't like the way you do that.
Why do you think that mentality of a person not wanting somebody to win, where do you think that comes from?
Honestly, the biggest part of it, growing up where we did in Sullivan County, I know you're familiar with the area, I think a lot of it is insecurity. I think a lot of it is, for example, say, everybody's talking who's the best in the 8, who's the best in the 8, But really, there's so many nasty artists in the 8.
Yeah, there are.
There are some nasty artists.
Definitely.
Like when I saw Bass Ninja perform at that show in Poughkeepsie at Chance, that was incredible. He did such incredible things. Bro, shout out to you, bro. That was nuts. I'm still thinking you'd be like, woo. I don't know. That shit was so crazy, bro. I don't know.
That's my bad. Shout out.
That's the guy right there. I thought that was baffling. I had some fans in the audience. They're like, yo, who's that? I was like, I don't know. That's my next feature, though. I'll tell you right now. That's who the fuck that is. So there's so many talented artists, but a lot of the artists that are here will see that. And this isn't just artists, it's just people in general. Right. And I think it's this area, maybe it's more people, but I think this area specifically, they see that and they see competition. It's like, I don't want to support him, because if he does well, maybe I don't. And that was actually a thing, I forget what song it is, so I'm gonna get crucified for this. But there's a Kendrick Lamar bar, and he talks about how many people make it out. It was like talking about how people make it out the hood, stuff like that. And it was like some sort of line, I'm gonna get crucified for this. But either way, some sort of line, and he's like, yeah, I see this man getting out, but when's the last time somebody got out? And if he does, will I? So it's kind of that concept of like that greed of like, if someone else does well, will I?
Right.
For me, we really, I think the concept is scarcity. We think that there's a lack of resources. We could all do well, we could all eat, we could all win. It's just we don't support each other enough. So that's kind of where I want to see it grow. That's what I'd like to do, obviously.
But now, don't you think that's a little difficult, being the fact that you're such a competitive nature?
Yeah, it is. But so I compare it to, and this is even more of being a douchebag, but I'll just go with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the persona. So I take it like Goku shit. anybody that's an anime fan on some Goku shit, he sees the strongest boss in the world. Like, I think about the Cell games right now. You ever watch Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
So my man was in the Cell games. His son is getting his ass beat by Cell, and Cell says, if I beat everybody here, I'm killing the Earth. And Goku's like, I bet. Hey, yo, have a sensu bean. He heals the enemy because he's like, well, I want you to fight him at full power. And his kid's sitting there like, come on, son. Dad, you don't love me. This is why Piccolo raised me. But, like, it was just like, I want to fight somebody at their best. Like, I'm going to be a piece of shit. I want to fight you. I want to go tit for tat.
So what you're saying
but
is
I want to see you at your best when we do it.
So this persona, in the sense you're telling me, is to be able to elevate.
Yeah, it's almost
try
like...
to bring the best out of the people around you.
It's kind of like the mutual instinct of, I want to do better to see you do better. And if you want to do better, best believe I'm going to get better. I'm not going to lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So kind of like a stepping ladder. You guys boosting
you bring each other up.
You're right. I wish we had a lot more of that around here.
I'd like it in more of a friendly nature. I talked about it the last time with a recent interview where I talked about why I don't do rap battles anymore. I still do. I still love it. It's still like my favorite thing in the world. But I know I'm tearing people down sometimes. I've had people cry, and I feel really bad, but I'm like, I'm not going to lose. If it's me or you, it will never be me.
Right.
Ain't going to be me, I assure you. So the thing is, I just didn't want to bring people down. I didn't really, part of me wants to, I want to rap, I want to spit, I want to freestyle, but I want to hype you up. I want to be the hype man. I want to see you get better, hit a new bar that you never knew was coming. I don't want to give you a reason to not want to rap or something. And that's the same thing with fighting. I'm a big fan of combat sports.
Right.
And I did a lot of football and stuff, Section 9 state champ, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That was always a thing that was weird to me. Is I remember we had this kid in high school when we played ball. He was like nasty. He was like the nastiest running back in like the league. And he was just crazy. And he was their whole team though. They based their whole team out of him. If you're from Liberty, you know I'm talking about Millbrook right now. I'm talking about out there. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say names or anything, but this kid was nice. And one of the kids on the team, he was like a lineman, and he's like, yo, I'm going to break his leg. And everybody's hyping him up like, yeah, we're going to hurt him and then we'll win. I was like, well, but did we really win though? Like we had to take out their main character to win. We're that bad. Yeah. We're ass. So we had a whole talk about that. The coaches talked about that. We're like, we don't play like that. We don't do that. We're better than this. And I believe that, but it was cool seeing somebody else believe it. It stuck with me that I want to see you at your best and I want to compete. And if you beat me, you beat me. And I'll tell you, beat me. I'll dap you up in the end.
A fair competition.
Yeah. But I do want to go all out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
Now, a little while ago, you mentioned the show we did at the Chance Theater.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience.
That
was a hell of a turnout. It was really cool.
It's really good. It was definitely an eye-opener for me. I learned a lot. But it was great seeing all the artists perform.
And I know you got big plans coming up in the future. That's on the low. We're not going to discuss it here.
Yeah, we do.
But I know there's some big things coming, so that's really exciting to see too.
We're still working. It's a work in progress. Anything you do is a work in progress. So, we do have some projects we're working on. But on the subject of the shows, there was a few other shows that you had done also, right? Yeah.
So we had, this summer alone, we were really busy. We had a show, I had like 3 shows in Oneonta because that's just like, I went to college around there. People know I rap. They're like, hey, yo, you can come out and perform, come do this. Performed at a few clubs. We went down to Atlanta, performed over there.
Right, exactly.
That was a really cool experience. That was honestly, Atlanta, if you're watching this, Atlanta's son. It's all hood shit, and I love it. I love it a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's all the best parts. I'm sure it's all the worst parts, but I had all the best parts. We were at the club, people were popping bottles and shit. We were all doing some straight hard rap. We were on the street, and literally the street corner, and we just started a rap circle for no shits and giggles. Some people got off the bus, started rapping. Oh, wow. I was like, yo, we all freestyling right now. It was the coolest. That was the coolest shit. I just loved that. And the energy was there really hype. It actually inspired me to drop the single that's coming out tonight. Right. The energy that I wanted to embody at that crowd that night, that's what this song is about. When I get another crowd like that's when this one's going live, and I'm on some shit with that one. It's super aggressive in all the worst ways, and I love it. So this leads me into my next question, because in your shows that you do, you're always wearing that little thing. Yeah. What is that? Yeah, so this was actually, here, you can look at it, but it's actually from Naruto. It was an Itachi. Itachi. That's my favorite character. I got a tattoo of him and stuff. All right, cool. So you want to take a look at this? Yeah. Go, bro. Oh, not my mic. So what that is You know, I talked about losing a lot of friends.
Right.
I talked about losing a lot of family and loved ones
Right.
and shit. I'm not, as much as it sucks, I'm not good at detachment. I'm not good at letting things go. It's something I always struggled with. But I realized the importance of it. That's something that took me a while to learn is, it's kind of like why a caged bird sings, is it's like sometimes things gotta be free. There was a quote that I learned when I was really young. It's like if you love something, let it go. Because some things are only beautiful in nature. And I learned that I used to have lizards. They're really cool, they're little monsters, they're dinosaurs, but like they're in a cage. So it's like, I don't know, I guess they're not cool. It's not even that they're not cool, but they're not shining as bright and as beautiful as when you could witness them. So what this was for me is, it was a gift from a really close friend of mine. It was a supporter, probably one of my best supporters I've ever had. I don't know if it was a Christmas gift or a birthday gift, but it was a gift. And I really cherished it. It was something that was given to me for an opportunity. But it meant more to me than the opportunity that they wanted me to use it for.
Right.
So now I'm actually no longer in contact with this person. Some things happened. We don't really associate anymore. But they were always a big support. They were always, whenever I did something, this was the person that would hype it up. This was the person that would get me at my best self. And for me, as you know, it's gonna sound pussy as hell. It's gonna sound bitch-like, but these are people I cared about. These are like my best friends. And to see them not at important events that we always talked about, or like the big shows.
To not see them a part of your life. And,
Well, it's mostly for like the big events. Cause I always, whenever you think in your mind, like, yo, I got this really big show. There's a couple thousand people. I'm kind of a little nervous. You see a familiar face. This was always the face that I pictured in mind. I was like, this is the person that'll be there. They won't let me down and I won't let them down. I'll never fail to let them down. But now, since they're not there, this is my way of kind of having a comfort. They're not there anymore. They're no longer here.
But the sentiment of the gift,
but
it follows you.
They're with me.
They're with you.
They're with me when I need it.
Right.
And as long as this is with me on the important dates, like I said, I wear it. I told you I wear it to all the shows. I wear it on important interviews. It's a very special occasion thing that never comes out besides that. But when I have it on, whatever I tell you I'm gonna do it. I will not miss because I won't let nobody down. That's just something I got to do.
All right, so let's get back to it. So tonight you got what dropping again?
Tonight we got a single dropping.
All right, how can they tune into that?
You can catch that out on any of the streaming platforms you own. There's like 18 different ones. We got Tidal. You should support Tidal. That's a good business. We got Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. All your streaming services, YouTube, everything. The cover art is probably, you'll see it tonight. We're going to be posting again on social medias tomorrow. But it's available tonight at midnight, available to everybody. I'm sure this will debut sometime later, but you know, they'll figure it out by then.
And the album? When does the album drop?
Now, the album, that is November 26th. That is a Friday, 1 week from today. We also have, that is the second single, the one earlier released in May. There's a third one that we released, obviously, that'll be coming up after this one. That'll be Monday. Like I said, that's the other surprise. That's very exciting. That's a big one I'm really happy about. That's actually one I worked with your son on. He put together some of the craziest shit. He did that mix and he did his thing. He really did an amazing job. And
shout out to Eli.
Shout out Eli.
Ghetto Poet.
And the Ghetto Poet. And I want to say a big thank you to Xtacy Productions.
Appreciate you,
because
brother.
there was 2 or 3 tracks that I worked on there that, you know, we had a great environment. It was a very welcoming experience. We got a lot done in a very professional setting. It was very cool to work there. And some of the ideas that were bounced off me, I definitely kept them in there. I wanted to show some support and love to who helped develop it.
Appreciate you.
And so, you know, the album's got a little bit of that in there, which is really exciting. But that song Monday is supposed to be one of the biggest hits, and I recorded it in that studio.
All right, no doubt. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, comment, and share. And check that out tonight at midnight.